Kamau.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
Good. How are you? We're
I'm good.
streaming. I think we're streaming.
I think we're streaming. I think it's live. Yeah, I
It's
think so.
live? Okay, good.
I think
Kamau, it's great to see you in front of
it's
a hypothetical audience in the Zoom world.
yeah. In this
Um,
your hypothetical life. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. How are you holding up in this universe?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. Apparently, it's like a real powerful planets going on
Mhm.
um, right now. Jupiter and Saturn and such.
Yeah,
For
I
real.
heard you could see some with your. I mean, like that. It was some. It was like the. I don't remember which planet it was, but one of them you can see more than you ever usually can with your naked eye.
You can touch Jupiter with your bare hands right
Yeah.
now. You just be like, Jupiter. I mean, you could hug it if you wanted to. So and Saturn. So it's like, what? That's what apparently. That's what they
Really?
were talking about at the grocery store today. That's what they were talking about.
Oh my God. I'm gonna go to whatever grocery store you go to. Um,
That's you should come through.
yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. But it's funny you said hypotheticals because really, I met you on a hypothetical. I think.
Yeah.
You,
Well, this
you,
this whole experience has been a virtual and kind of hypothetical experience this whole year working on this project. Hey,
yeah.
everybody that's here. My name is Matt Malin. I'm the archives and media manager at Experimental Sound Studio, where I manage the creative audio archive. And I'm here with Kamau Patton, who is one of our archive artists in residence this year, who unfortunately didn't get the opportunity to ever actually come visit the archive in person. And we've yet to meet each other in real life yet. Um,
That's true.
but we brought Kamau in to work with the Sun Ra L Saturn collection, which is a collection of reel to reel and cassette tapes and other ephemera, visual and audio visual ephemera that came from Alton Abraham's house on the south side of Chicago. Alton Abraham was Sun Ra's business partner and the co-founder of Al Saturn Records, which was the record label uh, that put out a great number of Sun Ra's material um, from when he was in Chicago and even after. Um, and Kamau, I think when we first started, when I first asked you to do something, I know it was like very vague. It's like, you want to do something with the collection? It doesn't matter what you do. You could do anything. Let me send you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder what that was like for you. I just sent you a bunch of SoundCloud links, things to listen to. Um, what was it like to first engage with all of this Sun Ra material?
Well, that was it was cool. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I just happen to have some thoughts about this. Really glad that you called. So I was like, that's cool. Yeah, I think I was like, do you have anything about, like I've been thinking about Atlantis, like Lemuria. I was like, you got any information on that? And I was like, you're cool. As you took it, you were like, yeah, man. That's true. You were like, and thank you for indulging the phone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, let's just chat on the phone. So as I didn't, this is like kind of second wave, like seeing you on Zoom
Mm-hmm.
now as a second wave, because before it was just like, hey, what's up, Matt? How you doing?
Yeah.
Those Atlantis tracks coming.
Yeah.
So it was good. So thank you. It was, and it was all like, I didn't talk to that many people, but definitely we chit chatted over the that quarantine.
Yeah.
So
No, I
yeah,
know it. And
well,
it has been really cool to have those phone conversations over the course of this year. Like, I can't believe how quickly the year has sort of gone by. And it feels like we've done an incredible amount of work. Except you did all of the work. And we're finally there. We finally have sent off these new pieces that you've made from utilizing recordings from the collection. And you ended up on some recordings that weren't related to Atlantis. We really only had like one or two things that were related to the Atlantis record that Sun
right.
Ra put out. There were a couple recordings of tracks that were included on that record, and I think there's maybe a copy of the original mixes from that LP, Atlantis. But that was kind of as far as we got with that line of thinking. But you then gravitated towards these things related to the phone
Yeah.
and poetry. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that. Like what drew you to those recordings and how did it start to turn into something like a new piece of work?
Yeah, one, just the voices, like Sun Ra's voice is so particular. But this was like another particular because it was like his phone voice,
Mm.
like when he's just like holler at you, he's like, hey, hey, talking to Elton,
Yeah.
you know. And so I was like, okay, this is like, and then their relationship, and then there's other people calling in, So the whole thing was like, okay, I'm listening to these conversations. They're really strange. I found them strange and like opaque. Um, but then it's just like, why are they even recording this? Why? Because it was like, at one point, he's like, yeah, I got to pick up on the phone,
Yeah.
And it's like, all right. So that just felt, I sat with that for a while, and
Yeah. What's up with that tape, the phone poems tape? Like what was going on there? I mean, that's Sun Ra calling Alton to read him poems over the phone.
yeah. I imagine there are other things going on in the conversation
Yeah.
that was going on too.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
That's
That's good to know.
yeah.
That, and so that was, yeah, there was and I don't know. There's a similar sensibility. Um, in terms of like, yeah, transmission of voice.
Hmm.
So yeah, I just found a way in. I guess a way of I don't know, meeting it where it was at, because I had been working similarly, or
Right.
with my own voice, like recorded voice with some distance,
Mm.
speaking to myself.
Yeah,
Um,
that really feels like where things sort of went with these pieces. I mean, like I very much feel like they are about transmission. They're like about voices coming through some kind of ether to a certain extent. And I
yeah,
mean, I can't. I wish that I called my friends and read poems to them on the phone. Um, but I don't tend to do that. So the experience then of listening to this type of material where it's musical, but then it's also like there's some sort of otherworldly mediation that's happening. Um, is it
yeah.
is it? Oh, go ahead. Talk about
Yeah,
that if you want. Does it feel
like,
connected to this right now? Like just the fact that this is how we are existing.
yeah, it's like etheric body, vibrational communication,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, transmission of voice, like vibrational voice. Like, I was, I spoke to a woman. Uh, it's a conversation I was given the opportunity to speak to a woman who was 103 years old. Um, I was like, okay, what do you talk to someone about? And I was like, well, I asked her, I was like, well, you've seen a lot. Like, what's the biggest like shift that you've ever seen? Like, what's the thing that really was like, whoa, everything's different now, having seen so much? And she's like, the telephone. The telephone was the biggest deal in what she had seen in her life, the biggest shift to be able to communicate with people in that way. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, okay. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I guess that's what drew me into
Mm-hmm.
that particular material. And then, just his recordings of his poems. I think that they're so, like, listening to them over and over, they I don't know, they transform just the
Mm-hmm.
way that his delivery, and I enjoy the solo. Sun Ra's solo in his rhythm, his vibration through the poetry and then through the solo piano work, um, are things that really, drew me in. So I think eventually in our conversations, um, I guess I was looking for those solo piano pieces, like
Mm-hmm.
looking for the solo, like Sun Ra solo vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, yeah, that would find them through, like if I would find like a keyboard piece or a synth piece.
Mm-hmm.
But then these voice pieces came up and I was like, oh, whoa, okay, that's the vibration,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So,
Was there
so yeah,
was there stuff that, like, do you feel like you learned things about Sun Ra's work or Sun Ra's being from engaging with the materials that you did that you didn't necessarily feel before, or was it more of like a reification of things that maybe drew you to Sun Ra?
it just opened, no, okay. I mean, it opened up some whole other thing. Like just
Mm-hmm.
listening through all these archives. I mean, stuff that is there and is not there. I mean, some things that didn't, but just the invitation to listen to the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, opened up other dimensions of what I mean, I don't know, this as a musician, as someone who like just the consciousness of the way he's projecting through these ethers. Do you know what I mean? That
Right.
like speaking to this here and now. Um, yeah, I'm just still kind of working it out. But I've been thinking about dreaming a lot. That was like that's been kind of like my trip, which is like I mean the piece as I had worked it out or titled it "The Past and Other Dreams," you know, comes from uh, a statement that he makes in these poems. He's like, "The past is a dream, you know. The past is a dream, something that comes in, you know,"
Mm-hmm.
and that I was like, "Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, the past is a dream, you
Yeah.
know." Um, and yeah, so like, but it's just one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
and so so they just kept me going. I'm like, all right. So that opened up some ways of thinking about those dimensions and like waking dreams and dreaming dreams and like quantum dreaming.
Yeah.
So that brought me some insight
Yeah.
in so it was, you know, it was an opportunity to explore that material, um, find some new places to with material that I've been working with for a
Mm-hmm.
while, um, particularly like you know, um, yeah, yeah, text to sound stuff, like exploring phonemics,
Mm-hmm.
like works, yeah, for pieces for voice. Like these, you know, so includes a bunch of recordings that I kind of been sitting with for some time. Like I kind of just, I don't know, I didn't really know where they would go,
Yeah.
or you know, I wasn't, I guess, suffering over it or sweating it, but I was like, I just didn't really know.
Yeah.
So this was an opportunity to like explore that, you
That's
know.
great. Yeah, I
So
remember you said to me, it might have been a little while ago now, but you said something about Sunrod being a time traveler, and did you say that? I feel like you said that anyway.
yeah, I said it. Yeah, I
and
did.
and
I
that's what
did.
like really comes through to me in these pieces that you ended up with. It's like we have these kinds of transmissions, dream states. Um, yeah, and like you're saying, like there's the piece that we're going to listen to tonight, the past, the first tape. So the release that we've made is a double cassette, and the first tape is the past, and the second tape is Other Dreams. And we're gonna listen to the past tonight. And in the past, the thing that's really interesting is that your voice is kind of the loudest thing, but it's being manipulated in such a way that like Sun Ra's voice kind of comes in and like steals the focal attention in this way that feels like time traveling to me, because your sounds, your tones are like are 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 more now or futuristic or also almost like that like past future aesthetic. Um,
This is yeah. It's confusing because I'm like, wait, how'd that happen? You know what I mean? I mean, it's there. I mean, yes, I've been thinking about it, but he's the teacher of that.
right.
You know, he's the teacher of that. He's a major source of that. And so yeah, this opportunity to kind of I don't know. I just been meditating on his work for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so uh, to cycle back and to do what I think it's really, I mean, I think it's very generous of y'all to make this material available, you know, in the way.
Mhm.
And I think part of our conversation was just really like, being like, what ways would be interesting to you for,
Mhm.
you really made that offer to like, okay, how, we're trying to figure out how to make it available.
Mhm.
How would you like it to be available to you? So
Yeah.
like, that's cool. Um, so yeah, just like an opportunity to keep care of something and explore it in a very open way
Yeah.
was cool. So it was like the next best thing. I mean, I don't know what it was like to work with the man, but
Mhm.
to work with like at the edge or margins of something that was left. That was, I don't know. That was cool. That's interesting. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm kind of still meditating on it
Yeah.
as so thank you for the invitation. That's
Oh
really
man, yeah. Thank you for the care that you brought to the material and the work that you made. I'm so excited for people to hear it, and I'm glad too that that was exciting to you and not frustrating. That I've always felt like that's the way to approach an object like a project like this. Is like, well, what do you want to do? and 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 how do you want to do it? And I hope that it suited the material and it suited you. And I'm really excited about what you've done with it, and so thankful for the work that you put into it. So
cool.
let's.
No, I appreciate vagueness. Like really, I do.
Yeah, me too.
Vague. I think.
All right.
So
Well, should we do it? Should we play this piece
yeah,
for the
yeah. Let's
people?
do it.
All
Past
right,
another.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna play just the past. And those of you who are members, new members uh, of ESS, will get a copy of this, and also we'll make it available in some form to the general public. I think as well, and I look forward to you all getting your hands on it as well as an object. All right, Kamau, thank you. I'm gonna sign off the Zoom and hit play on the past, which is tape one from this new work by Kamau Patton called "The Past," from the past and other dreams.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I get ahead. For all I had is a life I value. I give him everything I've ever had. Answers dreams which concern only me. We call a good life. I gave up all of this for you. Because my love for you is greater than all the worlds imaginable. Greater love has no man. Love has no other God. For I'm like my good. My words are more than light. What else am I than the greater? Other gods have I heard of. Lies. Other gods. But they are not as mine. But if they are not gods, I know. According to nature's laws and laws, I be as I am. Not even because, and yet not even because, far, and that is my consciousness, the hideous words, the hurt of them, run, thrust, parry, beaten with nimble feet of everlasting youth, alert, best not let them touch you, there's poison on the blade. The vibrations of the sounds seem the same, but the meanings of the sounds take separate directions at the crossroads of the cosmic point of the arrow. Beyond this age, through the darkness of the light years and the light years of the darkness, is the pure light of the pure darkness, and the pure darkness of the pure light. The light is as the darkness, because the light is the image of the shadow of the fire. You drink in the beauty of all that is real, all that can never be again. Not ever in the spiral potential of eternal myth dwells there more than in the realm. Not even ever even of remembrance is there the duplicate of the real myths. When reality reaches a certain point, beyond that point is myth. Even before the beginning of what is called reality, myth is the being before. When all that is parable possible is lived and caused to be, the hope of continuation living being is myth. Myth from equation of wisdom, ignorance is. The myth is seemingly false and seemingly impossible. Borders of the realm of myth are vast and non-existent, because there is no limit to the imaginative realm idea of myth. Here's a challenging new bold frontier. One of the bold and wise ignorance should pioneer. Thousands of roads and seek to know. Therefore they are ignorant. Parts of the foundational church remains have been embedded, giving us an excellent idea of the size of the power. And to know place and service the earth behind is also quite common. The law in the realm of myth is a non-law because the myth is a magic presentation of non-existent reality in a seemingly real form. Or it is when it is, and yet when it is not. The myth touches every field of else, and the myth is raised to a greater myth. Out upon the plains of myth, strange non-realities live. Strange because they are not according to the proper and accepted law. The non-reality may sometimes be expressed by the word not. Sometimes that which is reached to the end is considered not. So that a problem is posed and a way out can come at the same time.
Scientists will examine the skeleton and readaptive names of many thousands of years old in this gigantic
air is space. Air is melody. Air is mental prosperity. It is the air that we breathe that is important to the active existence of ourselves. Likewise, it is the air that we listen to that is important to the active existence of our minds. It is the air that is important to understand
an examination by animations that the measurement of
the spirit of things is the way of things, and the way of things, the manner of
its
things,
head is over
the
18 inches wide,
state of
and
things,
its neck
and the
over
state
5 feet long. Such creatures were evidently very frequently seen on the shores of Lemuria, and were another source of terror to the inhabitants of the continent. Perhaps the most interesting of the various species of animals that have been encountered.
I have nothing,
And that which was the most prolific
is I am.
was that
That's the weakness. I treasure rich and matter. I have nothing. Vast and endless nothing. It branches out into the realm beyond the realm. This and these are mine.
they say that this class of creatures
They
is
cannot
much
be
like
made.
that of
The idea of nothing,
with certain distinct
notions of
differences
nations,
that scientists have easily recognize.
I have the treasure of nothing.
Specimens of
All of it is
skeleton.
mine.
This creature
He who would
very
build a
sizes
magic
and
world
some
would seek to exchange power in
especially
order to take my endless treasures, as an endless realm of nothing. Words without wings, words without wings, poised, tense. Are they unaware that our wings should be? Words without wings, poised, tense. Take off, says, unless they drop to earth. Are they hurt? They again, right to the takeoff blades. Again, pause, tense. Ready, go. Words without wings. There's a point where nothing is everything, where everything is seemingly nothing, finished plain. That is the point. I saw the point where I could not accept the world. I could not accept it. I saw the point where I stood at the crossroads of the world of words. The point where I stood astonished at the moving destiny. And I determined a determination potential. I am not a fantasy in real sense. I'm a fantasy of a differential projection that I exist. There are no shadows where I am, because I am the fire, the light, and the flames of the sun. My name is the sun. I'm the stranger from the sky, far away, farther than the eye can see. Faith can be read to be it's thought to be myth. Myth is the world all its own. Myth has attributes, magic, impossible. Faith all sympathetic to the word myth. If you're not a myth, whose reality are you? And if you're not a reality, whose myth are you? When there's confusion, chaos reigns with multidimensional sound, where like some birds sound ecstatic to fly around the crossroads whence dimensions meet and wind their way. A circular path spiral outward. If they would rise above their wisdom, they could see nature as it is. If they would rise above their wisdom, they could see nature as it is. If they could rise above their knowledge, they could see nature as it is, and they would understand that there are other planes of nature greater than the plane they know. All around them are the other measures to the other wisdom, ignorance, myth. Why should a God visit earth if to be only a slave to man? Why should a God visit earth if to be only a slave to man? Why should a man be a slave to man if only to be a slave to man? Or man to God, or God to man, if only to be within a state unnatural to his natural self, or alter self? Why should a God visit earth if only to be a slave to man? When men are brothers, they are brothers because they know they are. They walk the initiate bridge. The initiate bridge degree of pointlessness. They are friends of pointless, intuition, companionship, sincere understandingness, of and on angelic planes of being. That is why I have said they are not my brothers if they are not my brothers. See how the black rays of the black race have touched immeasurable wisdom they are not understood, because as they are is not understood, and as to what they know is what they are. See the unlimited freedom of the black race. Only to be bottomlessly humble is to be bottomlessly cast out until there's none to compare. Only to be bottomlessly ignorant is to be the other state of ecstasy, that ignorance which gives hard to the unknown. And this unknown is of greater chaos, for chaos is immeasurable. A designed farmers as to the eye of the farm, and of the desire to synchronize to their end, which is and yet is not the end. Paradox, a synchronization to the infinity, the no end, cosmic chaos. When you meet a man, you meet a scheme of words, patterns of concept, a conceptive being whose very perception is called. Someone took the tender care to win the victory by defeat, and with defeat made defeat the feat of the universe. There never had been a defeat like this defeat. Defeat is a scenario of the life and lives of the people and peoples of planet Earth. Defeat is defeat to understand. I may be here, maybe not. I've never been inside life. Always I have looked through the glass, and those were there. There was no door for me to enter. I had no place to call my own. I had no people to call my own. I was and I'm theirs, if they cared that I be. But since they came before me, how can I say they are mine? How can I say I can call them my own? Perhaps they are a world of aliens far and high, the alien out. So out became the truth for me instead of in. There's no room for those out in the end. There's no room for those out in the end. It is written. There was no room in the end. There's life in life. Is life temporary? In life, everyone seems to be temporary. It is temporary. Is it temporary? What can people do worse than the way life is allowed to treat them in the enforced roles of the game of life? Lots to them, there are a lot. But there are a lot. It's a heap of shame and vanity. The useless end, inconsolable death, grief. I speak of, but I do not speak of anything, because I speak of everything. I speak of I, but when I speak of me, it is of me, because we are, and that is why we feel as it is. We walk the earth together, and together we will and do sail the skies of other climes and the world's eternal. As me, I'm here, but as I am always there. As me, I am here, but as I am always there. And somewhere else is there, because of the needs and millions of us. We are small, point out, cosmo infinitely pattern. We are
space, poses, translates superior or principle, virtual, being bound to us memory, not real, but maybe like the shaping on these presently present, abandoned plastic forms, simple relation. Pastors designated first of all, occupied space to gradually superior principle. Projection of the trace of what was, shaped by relatively transparent, clarity of what was, what's primary order of this, and how capable of achieving the best resolutions of practical objects, used in conjunction with a thick central element of the image I showed as mentioned I present my decay once spoke to now the distant virtual shelter perspective transcend perspective archive managed cannot shed my skin put on yours cannot share my mind cannot lose me impression by my time in fact systematic relevant to the purpose of the inside and the beyond sacred instead image outlaw modified, preserved, less so. Common sense standard. Multiple sense channels interactive, screen now everywhere, no distance now. Vessel occupied transfer, reimagined construct, which may realize the confusion of terms, relational holes, nowhere. Return on screen. The image itself divided, so adequate totality, turned into a ground almost overlays. The same time, which recounts, projects to time himself, the echoes of presence, denounce its own illusion, down itself, overlays, fractionality, virtually being there to listen agree. No matter practice, supervision, pastors, designated virtual, occupied space, enclosures, translated superior, or virtual. Being there to listen agree. It's not really what basically the same presently present, abandoned pastors designated first of all, occupied space enclosures, translate superior, projection of the closed, trace of what was, simplifying, relatively transparent, clarity of what was, what's primary of this, and emphasis, how capable of achieving special resolutions of what it is. Fractal objects, used in conjunction with a thick central the image I show, as mentioned extended, I perfect, I decay, transformed of distant edge, now, distant virtual shell, perspective friendship, perspective archive, cannot shed my skin, put on yours, cannot strip my mind, cannot look at me, impression by my time.
That's what the music says.
Systematic, relevant to the purpose of the inside of the galaxy beyond, set in space.
The music is a journey of illness. It is sound only. Endless sounds and universal language. That is what the music is. Equations bridge across the bridges of bottomless words of sound. That is what the music is. Universal language. The bridge communication of sound. There's no other way to speak to another language instrument you can understand except through the music. There's no other way to speak to another language which can how can you speak to other words except through the music? It is your choice to have the table with all the music is what you must face if you limit, if you reject. Translate like you said, if you are selfish, perfectly bound, pure music is your nemesis. Pure music is what you must face. If you limit, if you reject, if you not consider, if you are selfish, perfectly bound, pure music is your nemesis. You cannot pretend. You will accept the reject. Is your never ground. The mirror of pure music is a negative feeling. That photographs the image, mind, impression, soul, and psyche, the potential immediate outcome, destiny. Is the image, is the music, is the image, the sound of image. The living image of sound, image, sound of the cosmic world of person. The waves of sound, like waves of water. There is a time of sound. Like a journey, unscheduled directions are set necessary. Now and then to synchronize the code of momentum, the mission to a ground light or darkness equation, balance image, or improvisation of the counterpoint blueprint sound. The music is not limited to this limit. It takes other dimensions, times and tables, and cosmic infinity spirit. Feels and have transitions. Instruments are not instruments. That's how music goes. That is it is never what it seems. You can only hear what the mirror sees, no more, not less ever allowed. The sound is what you use. Sound. If you're not sound, then you're not pure. Pure is real sincere, and pure is sound and true. That's all what the music says. It's not what the music said it. It's all what the music says of you. The music is a living mirror of the universe. When the word was spoken, it was balanced on the pivotal planes of sound. When it was written, it reflected one plane of sight, and the triple meaning of the multiple visions that was no longer apparent. Because the meaning of the balanced word on the pivotal planes cannot be written as revealing as it can be thought of and felt. Because the eye of the pivotal planes is like the touch of vibrating magic. And the magic is the wisdom of ignorance of the speaker, understanding, intuition. Thus is the eye of the pivotal planes of the greater impossible and the major equating space, void, reality on the outer reach of the unending, onless.
The principle was secret from it.
Beyond other thoughts and other worlds are the things that seem not to be, and yet are. How impossible is it impossible? Yet the impossible is a thought, and everything is real. What I do, a flash of intuition is fire. A seed of fire that can bring to view the reality of itself. Beyond other thoughts and other worlds are the potentials that hidden circumstance and potential chance cannot control. The past is a dream. If it is not a dream, where is it now? The past is a dream. Something that came and